LASIK.
Hey, so what's up, man? It's Culture Vybz, rocking with your boy.
Hi, what's up, man?
Cheeseburger, DJ Benz, Nels
in the building.
In the building. So we all just, just kind of talking crap around the mic. But, yo, I just got to say.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump.
You about to do your
fuck
job.
Donald Trump.
Election 2020 has been a trip, dog. I ain't going to hold you. I'm tired. I'm stressed. But I'm relieved at the same time.
But, hold on. It's not over yet, though.
Yeah, you're right.
We got to wait till December 14th.
I'm gonna celebrate this weekend, then I'm gonna start, focus on the other stuff starting tomorrow.
No, they said December 14th is when, I guess, they officially cast their electoral votes. Like, each state representative cast their electoral vote. And then that's when it's official. So, and I heard through the grapevine that I guess there was like something similar that happened when Al Gore was running.
Right.
And he thought he was winning, and then he turned out not to win. Which is, everybody's hyped, right? But I'm like, I don't want to get too hyped too early. I think it's going to be Biden regardless, but I don't know.
I think that's because in that year, Florida was a swing state. Mm-hmm. But first off, can we just remove Florida from the United States? Because they've just been disappointing us for a number of years.
It's not Florida, though.
Oh, it's not this year.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, it's like when that happened, it was Florida. But here's my thing. Anytime there's something going on in election, who's always in the conversation? Florida.
Well, it's because they got big votes. And it's because, but their cities, their major cities, all the urban areas are blue. So like Miami, Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville. Yeah, shout out Florida.
Yeah, Florida, I don't know, man. I got beef with people from Florida. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry. You from Florida, I might have a little bit of beef with you. But it's just, back to your point though, it's interesting because I think this is the first time in my years of voting that I heard, you have to wait till December 14 where they actually cast their electoral ballots. And then it's official, because I've always been under the impression that, boom, once it's that, then that's it.
I just feel like with social media and us having so much more accessibility to everything, things are magnified now. And it just seems like, it's happening more. Oh, this, that, But it's just, I feel like because we have it at our hands, that's why sometimes it's even new, and it's not. It's like a process they've been doing.
I just hope the electorals don't do no dumb shit where, for example, Pennsylvania won, they're blue, and the electorals is like, well, fuck the Republicans, we're going to go red and vote for Trump. I hope they don't do that shit. If they do that shit, we rumbling.
No, they can't do that. Every state has to give the electoral votes to the party that was voted most popular, right? And they have to, whatever the popular vote was, with the exception of 2 states. And I think that's Maine and Nebraska. Is it? Am I right or wrong?
I wish I could tell you.
The 2 states that, I would look right now.
Well, both of those places, they're fairly, remote. They just grow corn and, do corn.
But that's why they're electoral.
I'm just saying, man, who lives in Maine? What's out there? Lobsters and, fresh water?
Forest.
What's in Maine?
Don't do them like that. They do that with Arizona. They're like, what's out there? Desert and cactus.
Oh, we all know what's in Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, the desert.
What's in Maine?
Flagstaff, Grand Canyon, her, cheeseburger.
What kind of
people in Arizona?
Pie Falls.
Bro,
yeah.
This is how you can know.
Well, not every 5 people in the world move to Arizona, so
let's talk about how boring. How boring the place is. Maine. What's Maine's mascot? The Maine Beavers? What is relevant about Maine?
I don't know. Lobster.
What?
Trees.
Nebraska. They got corn and other kind of European things. We don't do
corn huskers.
But them aside, it's really interesting you bring that up. But I was saying earlier too, I high key have been stressed about the election just because of the results. Because for me, I said this election really wasn't that Biden was a better or excellent, candidate. It really was more so, does America still have a soul? Because with all of the bull we've seen in the last 4 years, we can go down the laundry list of just racist stuff, talking about Mexico got, rapers and murderers coming in, talking crazy about people who are Muslim, going off on people who are, against police brutality, referring to black political activists as sons of bitches. The list goes on.
Oh, but let's also talk about like the people with mental disabilities.
Right.
Like, he's also taking a stab at. I mean, yeah, the list goes on.
Let's not forget, grab him by the you know what.
Oh yeah.
Grab him by the pussy. We can say it because he said it and he's the president. And he also wanted to refer to our motherland as Haiti as a shithole country. So here's my whole thing. Here's my whole thing with a president, right? If anyone in this room was to say something to somebody, it's one of those things where you're a person at the end of the day. You can say whatever you want to say. The president is a person at the end of the day. However, they have a greater duty and responsibility to be on their shit.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't fathom a leader of anywhere specifically ostracizing a group of people just on the premise of the color of their skin and ignorant stereotypes.
Yeah.
If anything, Germany, they ostracize people who identify with neo-Nazis. With Nazis, right? You go anywhere in the world, anyone who tries to oppress another group of people, they call that out.
Right.
This dude,
no.
Oh, there's problems on both sides. Nah, so once again, it's.
What he said to the good old
He
boy?
He said stand down and stand by.
Yeah, stand back and stand
down. Whatever it was. But now he unemployed, so get your ass out.
You're fired.
Melania about to dump his ass.
Bye.
Yo, I would not be surprised if that happened. Because all the footage that's out there of her like slapping his hand away and not wanting to be touched by him in public or not wanting to like, hold his hand and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if that's next. I'm here for it and I'm waiting for it.
You know what I think would be great? A great TV show would be The Bachelorette and Melania would be the main person.
No, don't do that.
Nah, I'm just saying, it would make a really good show because it's like, she would be like, hey look, it was hell being with that dude. I gave birth to his big-headed ass kids. Now, I just want to do something for me.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead, Melania. Go ahead, Melania about to have a city girl summer. Go ahead, Melania. Act out.
Who in their right mind would want to hit Melania Trump? I wouldn't.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't. But
there's probably a bunch of guys out there that think she's fired.
There's a bunch of guys that will hit anything with a hole. We're not talking about those guys. We're talking about guys who actually have like qualifications and likes, and preferences. I don't know anybody with those who's gonna get with Melania. I don't know.
So
that show will not go anywhere. I don't think so.
So we're having so now it's like once again, does America have a soul? Yes, because if they would have voted Donald Trump again for another election, right? I would look at it as one of two things. A majority of white folk, and I'm specifically referring to white folk, either A, are racist themselves and condone that behavior, hence that's why they will continue to have a person like that in a position of leadership, or B, even if a white person is not racist and not stereotypical and things like that, said behavior is not enough for them to say there needs to be accountability held for that. It's like one of those things of saying, well, yeah, this person isn't that great, but it's not enough for me to make a change. So that's how I would have looked at it as if he would have won another term. But the fact that he didn't, it tells me that, enough people saw this as a problem. Enough people felt mobilized to come together. And I can't think of another moment in history where a majority of people all came together on one agenda and executed it. We can talk about, I akin it almost to the civil rights era, but I sometimes don't know if that's fair because that was its own pocket of how powerful that was. This is an election. We do it every 4 years, right? But once again, everybody was on the same page for the most part.
And shout out to the 91% of Black American women that went out to vote. I think that's amazing. Honestly, when I saw that number, I was floored.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is Black women's time to shine. Go ahead, whip your hair back and forth, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because she really whipped her hair. Yeah, she did. And I shout to Amos. I hope you captured that shit. The thing is, man, you have Kamala Harris, who's been checking so many boxes, honestly, and being vice president, I really think that's a really big move for Black women everywhere. I think they needed that, and I'm very happy for them.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? Also, we gotta give a tremendous amount of love and respect to Stacey.
Stacey
Abrams.
Abrams.
Oh, wow. You know what it is? Because the B and the D are the same. Stacey Abrams, and it's because it's one of those things where she was running for governor of Georgia. Okay, she didn't win that election, and of course there were some talks about voter suppression throughout the state of Georgia because it's been a long time Republican held from the governor's perspective. The fact that she didn't win, but she didn't let that deter her or do something different. She then went on to create additional initiatives to get people registered to vote. In that timeline, she had gotten 800,000 plus people in the state of Georgia registered to vote. And not just any 800,000. See, what's interesting...
Hold on, I missed that. 800,000?
800,000 plus people. And that's like the number that I caught up on.
About to call her Stacey
Legend.
Legend.
More than that. Here's the trippy part. In a lot of cases, when people talk about campaigning and getting people voting, they're not necessarily targeting people who are unregistered to vote. They're trying to target independents who are undecided.
Yeah.
Because plenty of people who are undecided are just that one tip or two away from being on that side. So it's a matter of how do you appeal to them?
Yep.
Can you make things convenient? And that's what a lot of people do who run for any type of public office is try to get independence. But Stacey said, nah, I'm going to go to my people who I know can benefit from not only what I'm trying to pursue, but for what other people like me want to pursue, but they need the foundation to do that. So, 800,000 plus people registered to vote.
Massive.
And it's not that she only got them registered to vote because it was about, okay, the next time she tries to run around, now she has a better opportunity. It's two things. Number one, the election that we just had just now, because now it's also like, dude, if it's like, it's better she found out that issue when she ran rather than we found out in a general election that there weren't enough people that registered to vote, right? The other crazy part about it, and this is why I love black women and why y'all always put on for us, is because whatever other black man or woman decides to run for any kind of office in the state of Georgia, they now are going to have a base of people who are registered to vote that can now help make that difference that wasn't there before.
That is so awesome.
That's the legacy I'm talking about. And Michelle Obama as well, not all kind of initiatives to get people registered to vote. I mean, the list goes on, but see, I say that because there's that common rhetoric that black women are often the most disrespected, unprotected. I do not dispute that by any means. That is very real.
I won't dispute that
out. But what I like to do is I like to bring attention to the wins and to the work that sisters and black women put on for, because you know what? As much as that is said about how you're unprotected, I think if more people were to realize the work that black women do on a regular basis, then maybe we can start moving the needle towards, we need to start doing our due diligence as sisters. That's just where I'm sitting with it.
I agree. I 100% agree. Honestly.
Yeah, straight up, dog. Like,
I definitely think we need more people in general to come out and vote. I mean, granted, what was it, record breaking, right? We beat Obama's number. So they said 74 million people came out to vote, which is crazy. But then
74 million people came out to vote for Biden, while 70 million people came out to vote for Trump.
It is? I thought it was 74 million people voted.
In general?
In general.
No. I don't know the exact
because
number.
My thing is,
honestly, it was about 150, 160.
No, it was elected votes. It was elected votes. I thought it was 74 million. But regardless, I mean, I was doing math. Right? So what that tells me is when I think it was like a quarter of a billion. So about 250 million people are of age, over the age of 18, and able to vote. Right? So, I mean, if I'm right on the 74 million, then that's what, a third of the population?
Yeah, I mean, it's and also when you put it into perspective,
it's like,
too.
What is everybody else doing? Twiddling their thumbs? They don't care about the future. Like, what is it?
Actually, I want to bring up.
I got the count right here. Joe Biden has basically got 75,252,157 votes. Trump had 70,831,096 votes. So if you add that
okay,
up,
so that's about 50% of the population then.
If that,
right. But we're not even there, because
You know,
it's not fully. It's about 47-ish, 40 percent.
So with the number of people that came out to vote, right? We have more people vote this time around than previously, right?
Right.
One thing that I want to have a conversation about is how people found out and how they got registered. I'm sure everybody in this room got the text messages from election talking about, hey, are you registered? Are you registered? Not just from the Democratic, but
20 text
from
messages a
the
day.
from the Republican Party. You know what's so trippy is I say this. There was this video that came out. It said, "Get your booty to the poll." I don't know if you saw it. And what it was a group of it was a group of strippers that came out and was twerking and shaking their ass and basically encouraging people to register to vote.
Where was this?
This was on IG, bro. Like,
no, where? Was this? No, if this was my coworkers in Jaguars, I'm
they got strippers from like St. Louis and like Georgia and all that kind of places.
But I dig it though because it caters to a certain demographic.
Right. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. I think Jamel Hill might have shared it or something on her IG page, but so and it wasn't just about getting people ready to vote. They actually had an honest perspective on, do you want to have better schools? Then you're supposed to look for your local city officials. It wasn't just registering people to vote for the general election. It was meant to inform people about the significance of local election and the general election. Now,
that's dope.
The thing is, I'll pull up the video and it's dope. But the thing is, a lot of people were critical of it because they said it was a minstrel show to get black voters to vote. Some people even went as far as to say, is this what you have to do to get black men to vote? And the list goes on. Here's my whole thing.
Were they
black
strippers?
Yeah, they're black strippers. First of all, black strippers are the best strippers. Let's just get that out the way. I don't want to go see fucking Heather fucking spinning around dudes. I want
shout out to Cleo, shout out to Phoenix, shout out to all my girls at Jaguars.
You see the
day, all that, yeah.
You hear the names? Like, I would love to see someone with that name, but besides the point. So people were critical of it, and my thing is this though, by any means necessary.
Right.
Everybody was talking shit about how, is this what we gotta do to get people? It doesn't matter, because here's my thing. God forbid if Trump would have won, and we would have sat back and looked and said, did we do everything we possibly can to get people registered to vote?
If he'd have won, then the answer would have been no.
We did it. Now, here's my thing. The fact that we won, we got what we wanted, cool. But it's methods like the one I just talked about that probably got somebody registered to vote that probably wasn't looking to it or cared for it to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Now, as a lady, right, if you were to see something like a video like that, just ladies twerking, shaking their ass, but trying to get people registered to vote, how would you feel about that?
I mean, I don't think I would care. It's not for me, I just feel like it's not my place to care. You know, however you get somebody to get to the polls and vote, I would think it was interesting. I mean, just my same reaction that I had before. It fits a certain demographic, right? And to me, I feel like that's all that matters. It's just like if they were doing something catered more towards young adults, just turning of the age. I am curious to get like a breakdown of the age groups, that voted, right?
Yeah.
And then moving forward, coming up with unique and different ideas to cater.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 yeah.
Did we get your attention? Good.
So, you really not gonna vote? You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it.
A district attorney decides who to prosecute,
including whether or not to go after dirty cops.
Do you know who elects the DA? We do, but you don't want to vote.
Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit.
Want trades and coding taught in our schools?
Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market.
Want to end cash bail?
Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do.
But you talking about, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty.
Ferguson just elected their first black mayor.
You know how that happened?
It's clear black lives don't matter to some of our...
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
Right. So, and the thing is that there's always going to be people who criticize things.
Right.
But I'm just like, dude, the people want to complain.
And I like that it represented all different kinds of women.
Yeah.
Because they had the big girl, they had the
First off,
skinny girl,
I follow every single one of those.
They covered everything perfectly.
Exactly.
Light skin, brown skin, whatever.
All
they
kinds
had
of
it
flavors.
all.
I follow every single one of them on Instagram, but that's besides the point. So, but
I underestimated you, Cheese. I really thought you needed a bottle opener, and you did not. So that really shows that you are a true Caribbean. I'm sorry.
I didn't even see how you banging
I
on the
apologize.
table.
Yeah.
You use your teeth.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yo,
I missed that.
the only reason why I know how to do that is because when my parents would be hanging out, listening to my dad, it was like, yo, we'll grab me a beer. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And show me how to open the teeth. I just watched them do it. And open the teeth. You know? So
Have you cracked a tooth?
No, I got strong teeth.
Never?
Yeah, I take my vitamins, you feel me? I'm hydrated. I use shea butter.
Alright, your turn, you do it.
No, I
Nah, Ben's gonna mess around and do that. You gotta go to the dentist on Monday talking like, I messed around.
The bottle opener. I'm sorry.
Man, whatever.
I definitely think you should insert clip. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I mean,
Right.
It is what it is. Like, damn, everybody's so critical of everything these days. Like, you can't do anything. My thing is, like, I look at it this way. I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me, right? However way I get it done, as long as I'm not doing nothing illegal or, against or unethical, what's the problem?
Yeah. So also I want to ask you, so from this election standpoint, like what do you think, what are some of the things that are different about this election that you noticed compared to previous elections?
What was different about this election?
Compared to previous elections? Because don't get me wrong, the stakes were very high. And we had COVID and we had mail-in ballots. But if you think about it for the most part, mail-in ballots have been a thing for a while. It's just on a greater scale.
Right.
All right. And then also, when it comes to the Electoral College and the counting process, yeah, we have more people doing mail-in. That's why it took longer. But other than that,
I definitely think social media played a big factor in this year's election. I mean, we have so many platforms now, from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Discord, what other, I mean,
okay.
There's like so many social media platforms, and I think those, whoever the influencers are, they definitely have an impact on people's views and how they're seeing things, and even some things may be said to where kind of makes you scratch your head. Like, I think Candace Owens was major in the spotlight, and the white population was using that to their advantage, right? Because people like, look, we got one of them. This is how she feels. Listen to her. She's right. Like, this is like they were posting her as like the model child.
I'm gonna add on to what you said and continue. Because of social media, everything is recorded.
Yeah.
Like, you could have said something 10, 20, 30 years ago. Because of social media, brings it all out.
The sound bites that are coming out. I just feel like everything was magnified.
Everything.
This year. And it doesn't matter where it came from, when it was said. I mean, look how far they were digging into, like, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. They were even digging receipts from 20, 30 years ago. Well, my thing is, what we can say about those candidates is that they've evolved with the times. And even though, yes, their views have changed, it's what we want, right? It's adapting. Now, they've elected, if it's official, and once they get in, it's their opportunity to show us what they're working with and make the change, right? Make the change that we've been hoping for, and that this country, in my opinion, I feel like we need, right?
I think this election opened a lot of people's eyes on many situations.
Absolutely.
First of all, like every other election was, okay, either the red guy or the blue guy. Okay, if we do the guy that we like, cool. If we get the guy that we don't like, all right, it's gonna suck, but life goes on, right?
Right.
This election, nah. It was like, if the blue guy wins, life goes on. If the red guy wins, this might be the last election ever, okay?
It's
But I
ever.
can't even believe that that was even a topic of discussion, that was even a possibility.
Because we let this Cheeto, this orange Hitler, like, I don't know, bunker bitch that just ran wild and shit.
You know what Trump really is? Trump is an unattended boil. A boil on your skin. Unintended.
I just call him bunker bitch.
Unintended boil that's on your skin, and you finally were able to squeeze that motherfucker and get all the pus out. All right. Now you gotta put some strings on that.
Pus.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it was. I heard somebody say Trump's like a kid that's losing at a game and keeps changing the rules to his benefit, and then when and then when he can't get his way, he takes the ball and leaves the park.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
I want to bring up something funny too that you mentioned Candace Owens, right? I just have to Google it real quick.
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Why are we talking about her?
I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Because this is why this is why black people really need to pay attention to the kind of people who come out and try to talk and think they represent us. So Candace Owens in high school, actually, it was like a group of four or five white boys had wrote a threatening letter to her.
NAACP.
All right? No. Listen to me. When she was in high school, a group of white boys had wrote some like death letter, threat letter type joint to her, and used racial epithets inside of this letter. Yep. She brought it to the school board's attention. The school board partnered with the NAACP and tried it as a hate crime. Okay? And then what happened is the school board put money up to represent her in court when she was going to take these kids and their families to court over this matter. What ended up happening was the NAACP and the school board ended up going into a settlement with the families of those white boys who made that letter. Now, with that settlement, because it was through the school board, that's technically taxpayer money. So, they had to disclose how much money it was. It was like a $300,000 settlement. Of that, $65,000-$70,000 of it went just to the legal fees. Okay? Now,
how much did Candace Owens get?
I don't know how much she got. But let me ask you something, bro.
No, this is a section of Culture Vybz called "The More You Know," because like every episode,
you never heard this story?
No, this is crazy.
Listen to me, bro. Now think about this. This happened to her when she was a senior in high school.
So NAACP.
No, NAA. These.
NAA.
You said
NW.
They fucked up. Listen. They fucked up. They don't have the respect for me to repeat it in the right way.
He said he's over here talking about the wrestling shit, the NWA.
NWA, NWUCP. I don't give a fuck. They fucked up. They fucked up.
Peep game though. But no. Here's the thing. Obviously, the NAACP could not foresee Candace becoming the person she is today. Because let's be real, put it in this perspective. This is a young black girl at a high school who had white people write a racist letter to her. The NAACP always does its best to show out on the support in behalf of black folk, okay? Now, this is when she's a kid, mind you, high school. Long story short, they was trying to take the matter to court. They got it settled. Money, I can't speak on that. But what I'm saying is, now Candace Owens, the grown woman. So you mean to tell me, you are now an adult who has all of this resentment and critical thinking towards black people and black culture. But you are the result of the culture putting you forward and protecting you, and this is how you repay it. So, I say that because a lot of black folk are willing to sell out and forget who they are for the sake of advancement or preservation. Perfect example, 50 Cent. Yeah, 50 Cent, he retracted. Now he wanted to endorse Biden. Well, let's be 100. He felt some kind of way because Biden was talking about, there was rhetoric that Biden's new tax plan would affect people who make more than $400K a year. So, of course, 50 is going to come out and be like, nah, fuck that.
That wasn't going to affect you, right? The $400,000.
Why you telling people my wallet?
I mean,
why are you telling people my business?
It ain't gonna affect me. I don't make
but this isn't about me. Let's leave my finances out of it.
Oh, I was just asking you a question.
I know
about your finances. No, does it affect you?
What, 400,000?
I'm not answering that question because now you put me on the spot, bro.
I just said to me that I don't make over $400,000, so that's not gonna affect me.
It's not affecting me either.
Okay.
And it's marginal though, so
okay,
it's
we're not gonna talk about your pockets.
50 Cent.
You don't have to answer the question.
All right,
continue on 50 Cent.
So now 50. Who else I think came to Lil Wayne, right?
Fuck him.
Right.
I ain't playing none of this shit.
Now here's my thing. Devil's advocate. obviously people are going to vote for their own interests. Okay?
Right, absolutely, but there's a lot of people that
the
do that,
same
right?
time that people will try to vote for their own interests, they will completely ignore and neglect the culture that protected and supported them. Because my thing is this, how big of a slap in the face is it that if you're Lil Wayne and you want to endorse Donald Trump, say what you want about how it affects your life, but the people who got you to where you are, the culture got you to where you are, and you want to endorse the very thing that has been against the culture time and time again. So that tells me that we as a culture need to be very critical and hold people accountable, like Weezy or 50, who decide to go into a direction and say, oh, well, you know, he's his own person. Nah, bro, don't continue to support their shit, right? Candace Owens is another example of it. Candace Owens, same thing. Benefited from the culture, got to where she is now. Her people who support her, hey, that's on you. But all I know is that when I see her name, I know exactly where she stands. When I see Weezy's name, I know exactly 50 where he stands. But I say all of this because this is why I'm just like, dude, entertainers are not fucking spokespeople. They are representatives of their finances. If 50 comes on TV and says something for black folk, he ain't saying it for black folk, he's saying it for his wallet. When you can discern that, then you can learn who you really should be affiliating with.
This election really showed that.
Yeah.
Can we like dumb down Lil Wayne's career like we dumbed down Chrisette Michelle's career 4 years ago?
Chrisette Michelle's just a bitter person.
She's what?
Bitter person. Oh, not Chrisette Michelle, I'm sorry. I got her mixed up with K. Michelle, I'm sorry.
No, it's like Chrisette Michelle.
Yeah.
Chrisette Michelle wanted to perform for Trump, just for the wallet, and that was the last we ever heard from her ever to fuck again. Can we do that to Lil Wayne, please? Let's do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. Also, we gotta do the same thing.
Stop following them on social media. That adds to their pocket too.
You know what's one name that people need to follow more often? Tamika Mallory.
I follow her.
And you know why I say that? Because throughout this whole process, once again, yes, I know Weezy and 50, they said polarizing things, they got attention. But these are people who have continued to benefit from the culture. People like Tamika Mallory.
Yep. Shout out New York.
Needs to be encouraged and uplifted and deserve all the attention. Those are people, that's a person that we should look to when it comes to on how to move the culture forward.
Yeah, she got my attention back in the spring when everything was going off. That speech that she gave.
I'm looking her up. I don't know who she is.
You don't know who Tamika Mallory is?
No. Oh, don't say it like that. She's like,
I'm looking right now.
She about to slap you. She's like, you don't know who. Hold my water.
I'm looking
okay,
right
I'm sorry.
now.
All right, I'm not gonna pass no judgment.
I'm looking right now.
You should look her up. She's a very influential person. She's definitely for the people. She's out there on the streets. Every time something happens, her and her crew, they go straight there to try to get answers and try to figure out what's going on. They report on everything that they find out. I mean, I definitely need to get more into it, but she caught my attention and definitely somebody that I look to for insider information and facts.
Yeah, I'm looking her up. Another person I want to add to that category, AOC.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, she.
Though, shout out Bronx, the Bronx. Yeah.
She definitely is.
Yes.
Though.
I think she's on her way. I wouldn't be surprised if she ran for president further down the line. I definitely think she has it in her.
She definitely.
Yo,
I think she's got it in her.
I got a question. Is she single?
I think she is.
Hey,
I don't know.
Wait. Are you single?
Wait. Oh man!
I didn't even think about that.
Next topic. Anyway, so Tamika Mallory, right?
See?
Tamika Mallory is a great person. I will follow her, right?
You over here impeded on my man.
I don't know.
AOC's dope though. Anyways, she be calling people
Bro,
out.
I was so
when
sorry.
she was like, I forgot whatever congressman it was, and he was like, and he called me, and I quote, what did she say? It was something, I know she said BITCH, and I was just like, oh! I'm like, whoa, did she just, but, I mean, she was quoting somebody, so.
I'm just glad there's more people in the government that actually represent us.
But she would definitely call you out quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, get these old, shrivel up 80-year-old white men out the way, man.
Yeah, we definitely need to get different people. Oh, this was another thing that I read about too. They were talking about who's going to replace Harris now, because she was the only black female in Congress or in the Senate. It was in the Senate, I think it was.
Well, I'll say it like this: politics is very much a string. So when you look at Biden, right, and let's just say Biden is in his team, in his cabinet, right? This is him. Mm-hmm. Every state that we look at right now that had elections for, mayor and this and that, we'll use Phoenix as an example. What's her name? Kate Galapagos Island, whatever that broad name is.
Gallego.
Guy, fuck her sideways. I don't care. Nah, I don't like that lady. I don't. I don't know. But I'm just saying that. So there's rumors that with Biden's camp, right? She may try to ascend to a position in his camp. Now it's a string. She gets pulled up. Right. Now there's a vacancy for mayor. Now with that, it then has to get filled by whatever other entity, and so on and so forth. Right. So we can see that.
How do they do that? Do we have to vote?
It's like it's like a runoff election. I know Crisco was talking about it last time. Yeah. But it's one of those things where Kamala is. I'm sure that there has been some type of contingency about, hey, if she was to win, what are some of the other things that would happen? And I would like to hope she would have had a contingency where it's like, okay, is there another sister or brother on the way up who would essentially try to go into that position or drive there? Not immediately, but at least be guided towards that. I would like to hope that's possible.
Who puts that person in that position?
It's a few things. Put it like this. Let's say you and I was running for a certain position. Okay. Right? And Ben is a person who's already there. Okay. Right? Ben's won it. He holds it down. Opportunity comes up. Ben steps away from it, goes up. Now it's left to like people like myself, yourself, and whoever else is left around. Right? Mm-hmm. There are all kind of like runoff elections and secondary elections and other contingencies that will say, okay, now we need to replace that person. There isn't necessarily, I'm going to give this person or that person preference, but it's giving that person enough resources and a leg up to say, hey, now that we're here, I'm going to have these people work with you to get you to where you are. Because now they have access to more resources. Okay. Think about it. The resources that got Kamala to where she is now. Right. I wouldn't be surprised if she was to then try to allocate those resources to such as, it's like the mafia. You know what I'm saying? If the Godfather has people who are under them, one person moves up, it's like, all right, now you're also going to get these many resources with you as well. So I can see the same thing happening for that situation. Yeah. But, I mean, I could be completely wrong. But the reason why I say that is because politics is a dirty game. Everybody sleep in the same bed. As much as it's about us voting for what we want, there are a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes that will have you seeing one person more than another.
One thing I could say is, like last week when Crisco Kid, I asked him the question, does my vote really count? And he made that whole thing say yes. Honestly, that was like the last push to get me to go to, vote. Yeah, this election really proved that my vote counts. So I really want to give a shout out to Crisco, go to the polls.
Yeah, and dude, I mean, I'm a big advocate for a Crisco Kid as well, and voting counts. But also the reason why it counts, because a ballot holds weight even if it doesn't go the way you want. Because what a ballot does is that it tells the powers that be, this is what people's eyes are on. Why do you think Prop 207 was on the ballot again?
Oh, shout out to Prop 207.
Right? In the last election, general election, it was on the ballot. I think it got like 48% of votes for provisions that was on the ballot. Because remember, it wasn't just 207, it was 207, 208, there was another one in there. Every state's going to have different propositions on their ballots. Now, a lot of times, depending on where you live, you may see certain propositions more than once, more than twice in your lifetime. Yeah. Why? Because even though it didn't win, it got enough notoriety to where it was able to go back onto the ballot. Mm-hmm. With Prop 207, it lost to raising minimum wage to $15 an hour. That's what it lost to. It got a certain amount of votes. What happened is it says every year, if you want to get a certain proposition going, it has to get a certain number of signatures. Mm-hmm. They needed 200,000 signatures to get Prop 207 on the ballot.
Back on the ballot.
If I said I wanted a proposition that said, yo, strippers get a tax write-off for being strippers. If I got 200,000 signatures in the state of Arizona, you gonna be in that joint like, hey, Candy, she did put on. Maybe she should get a write-off. You know what? Yeah, go ahead, Candy. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
But I say that because it's one of those things to where that's where you come in. That's where like the public work comes in.
Right.
That's when you see the people on the corner with clipboards talking about, hey, do you want to sign this and this and that? And now that's them getting the notoriety for it. Now let's say Benz comes into the picture. He checks off on that vote, but it doesn't win. Okay? The next year, the people who are going to get those signatures have to do that process all over again. So you want to talk about if it votes or not? Bro, let me ask you this. If my thing lost and I only got 47%, but I looked at the ballots, because they get that information.
Yeah.
Shoot, I only got 47%. You know what? I'm willing to try again. Because that means I needed only maybe
4% more.
4% more. What's that equate to? Maybe a million
not
more?
even, just 3
Maybe,
and a little bit over.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe that
Right.
equates to 200,000 more people. Maybe that equates to 500,000 more people. Either way, it gives you a position on knowing how far what you believes in can go.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking about a ballot to make it on a simple basis. So now look at it. They needed 200,000 on the ballot to get onto. They needed 200,000 signatures to get on the ballot. They got 420,000 signatures.
420. It's meant to happen.
All right.
It's meant to happen.
You want to hear something more ironic about that? In the state of Arizona, there are only maybe 250,000 to 300,000 registered medical marijuana users. So that's 300,000 people who all went through the paperwork and the process to be a medical marijuana user.
Right.
You mean to tell me 400,000 plus people who got that? So that means literally every registered medical marijuana user said yes for the ballot, and on top of that, people who are not also said yes. So when you talk and say, yo, does my vote matter? It does, because if it doesn't get your results on that election right then and there, what it does is that it gives information and incentive to the people who put that on the table to say, oh shoot, like we almost had it, we just got to come back with it with a different game plan. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what Prop 207
right.
did.
Same thing with Stacey Abrams. How do you think she got? Why do you think she even went that hard for 800,000? Because she probably saw, shoot, there are X amount of people in this part of Georgia, but only 7% of them are registered to vote.
Yeah.
That was her incentive to say, shit, I got to go out here and get this work popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I always encourage people to vote, because it's not always about getting the end result you want. It's about setting up the result you want. You know what I'm saying? Like I voted.
It's a marathon. Not a
Yeah, it's a
sprint.
marathon. Dog. You got to put the work in now to get what you want. It's just that we're so accustomed to instant gratification that if I had said A today, I better get B tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know?
So now that Prop 207 has been passed and we're going to be a weed state, what do you think is going to happen when it becomes legalized? Like,
Hold on, wait a minute. Before we even go there, though, like, I need to know. So I have posted on my Facebook page, right, about the 207 passing.
Yeah.
I don't smoke, but you know, hey, whatever. To each his own. I supported it. I voted for it, in support of it. And somebody commented on my Facebook about it's still illegal federally. Like, don't get caught going through an Arizona checkpoint. And the first checkpoint that popped in my mind is the one that's, you know, when you go leaving from Yuma and coming out here to Phoenix. So I'm like, wait a minute. So if you got caught with marijuana, even if it was, to me, I'm curious, like, how does that work? Like,
Okay.
what if it was even
So-
medicinal? And I wanted to ask you because you work at a dispensary, so I figured that you have
Some insight.
some insight on that.
So
like,
so
how
the
does
way
all that work?
So yeah, so it's here's the reason why it's federally illegal is because marijuana is still considered a Schedule I drug. So it's in the same category as like methamphetamine
Cocaine
and some
all
of these
that. Yeah,
super
I read
hardcore
all-
things.
I read all that.
The main reason why, and this isn't even from a conspiracy standpoint, it's the main reason why marijuana is considered Schedule I is because if it was not a Schedule I, people, institutions, organizations would have access to requesting it and using it and testing it for medicinal purposes or lab testing in general. So let me give you an example. Let's say right now you are a scientist or you are a college, okay? Let's say right now you want to research ibuprofen, okay? Ibuprofen is a drug to where it has been tested multiple times. There have been many clinical trials to where if you wanted to do something with it that would have an adverse effect, you would have to do a lot. But the only reason why they know that is because it's been tested and it's not Schedule 1. It's a Schedule whatever number it is, right? But that's because you've already gone through the process of doing it. And also the other thing with ibuprofen is to actually create it. It's a whole process, but in order for you to do it, you have to have a significant amount of money. Mm-hmm. Cannabis, on the other hand, you don't need a lot of money to produce cannabis. Right? It's very easy to get access to legally or illegally, but by keeping it Schedule 1, they're able to control how many people can get their hands on it. People run clinical trials on cannabis, then now they have conclusive evidence that can support its medicinal use. Now they have paperwork to support that it's good for you or that it's not as bad as you think it is. Mm-hmm. And now they can start applying it to medical practices because they have the lab tests to support it. And they can also support that information to the FDA, which regulates everything that we consume food and drink wise. Mm-hmm. Now I say all that to say this. Right now on the state level, marijuana, cool. Arizona, cool. When you go outside, let's say if you went somewhere to, I don't know, I'm just going to say Texas, where it's not legal, right? A cop can arrest you because it's illegal on the state level with Texas, but then at some point, the judge wanted to make a situation worse, they can try you on the federal level.
Yeah, well, I get all that, but I mean, like, as far as being in the state of Arizona, because their point was, like, don't get caught going through a checkpoint. So I was curious, like, how that even
I think they're going to fix the provision.
The reason,
like, if you get caught with less than an ounce or less than
that's what I was thinking. I would think that it would need
stop you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I was thinking, that it would need to be up to a certain amount.
Not to mention now, California's legal, Arizona's legal, Nevada's legal. So now if you go from Arizona to California, Arizona to Nevada, even that's gonna be okay.
Even Colorado too.
Colorado's good. New Mexico, I think so as well. But also the thing with checkpoints.
I've never been
not
to
Utah. Utah's not legal.
The reason why checkpoints are a little bit gray is because in some cases, the border agents who work at those checkpoints often can be employed by the state, and in some cases also employed by the federal government.
So if it's by federal, then
U.S. Marshals can sometimes be stationed at border points because U.S. Marshals they basically are cops but for the government. Yeah. So U.S. Marshals have more autonomy throughout the United States. Like right now, once again, you being in Arizona, everything's cool. Yeah. But right now, let's say a U.S. Marshal approached you or something like that, depending on the scenario, they can press you.
Right.
So it's really, the checkpoints is probably, once again, mainly because, once again, with checkpoints, a lot of border agents, they're typically going to be employed by the state. Mm-hmm. But there is a chance for them to be they could just be regular U.S. Marshals who are, conducting an investigation and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's a gray area. Just like I'll give you an example with Candace.
I just need more insight on it though.
I just want to know when the 420 festival in Arizona about to happen.
I'm not trying to get pulled over and have nobody get me in any kind of trouble.
Well, right now, the way things are set up with cannabis is, let's say if you buy cannabis from a dispensary, they have to put a sticker on it. The sticker will have your patient identification number. So that means it's unique to yourself. So in the event if you get pulled over, right, and you have cannabis on you, as long as you have that sticker on that product, it's saying this came from a dispensary. That's all they care about. It's to prove that it came from a dispensary, and that's what gets you protected. People think, oh, well, I got cannabis and I got pulled over. Dog, where did you get it from? Did you get it from a dispensary or not?
Or did you get it from, oh boy, down the street?
Right. Now with recreation, the difference is they'll still have that process of like, hey, did this come from a dispensary or not? But what that means now is that more people, the process to be approved for it is less rigid. Because medical, it's not that hard, but people think it is. Recreation, it's like applying for a gun license. Gives you 21, maybe a soft background check for something criminal related, if that, and then you're good to go. That's it.
420 festival coming up in Arizona soon. I'm waiting.
They got that on here?
Yeah.
They're going to.
No, they have one called the Earl Cup. They do a 420 festival here every year.
What cup?
Earl Cup.
I thought that was in Colorado.
No, they do it out here, bro. What you talking about?
I thought it was in Colorado.
No, they just had it a few months ago. I was here.
On 420?
Actually,
it's gonna be nice.
I think it was I don't know if it was this past April. It might have been, but actually, yeah, dude, they do a thing here called the Earl Cup, where basically, bro, it's a weed festival. They've been doing it for years out here.
And people be there smoking?
Hell yeah! But it's a closed facility though. It's a private event.
Oh, invitation only?
Nah, you have to buy a ticket. But the thing is, You have to buy a ticket.
They didn't shut that down?
No, but the reason why is because everybody who was there were registered medical marijuana users.
Oh.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why like the facility was booked for that purpose and stuff like that.
But the next one you don't have to be.
Well, the thing is, it's not like, California where you don't have to be a resident. Every state's different. So Arizona, it might be a situation. I don't know, because they approved it, but they still haven't done the paperwork. Yeah. It could be something to where, you have to be an Arizona resident. Or it could be something to where if you're not a resident, you have to be 21. You know what I'm saying? So it can vary. You know what I'm saying? But I just say that where people don't.
It's just like the gun laws,
Yeah, just don't take it and run with
certain states,
it.
you could carry a weapon across state lines. Other states, you get caught. Sure is.
Right. So now that Biden won and everything, he said he was gonna listen to scientists and whatnot. And if the scientist says shut the country down, he gonna shut the country down.
No, he didn't say that. Stop putting out information like that.
I'm not Trump. I'm not Fox News. I actually heard what he said.
He did not say that though. Where did he say it?
He said he gonna listen to the scientists.
Yes, he's gonna listen to the scientists, but he said he was gonna implement a mask mandate. I don't think that the scientists are saying we need to shut the country down, but I do think that they believe that everybody needs to be wearing masks.
Okay, I'm with that.
Don't be doing that shut the country down stuff. I mean, if it happens, by all means, I feel like if it's absolutely necessary, yes, it's gonna happen.
I mean, cases
but I
are
think,
going up.
yeah, but look how many people out here without wearing a damn mask.
True.
You ever notice that the people who are not wearing a mask have a small amount of melanin?
Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying.
For the most part, but you do have other people and other demographics not wearing masks.
Either they don't have a lot of melanin or they don't have a lot of brain cells.
You know who you don't see not wearing masks? I have not seen one Asian person out here, because they even do that on regular practice. It's regular practice in their country, even before the pandemic even hit.
Well, I mean, that's just
when
because
they're out in public with a lot of people because it's so populated out there.
They wear masks.
I mean, but it's also because it's an air pollution thing now. That's why.
We got bad air out here.
Man, no, like China, they have like really bad air pollution. So that's why a lot of them wear
Arizona
masks.
gets alerts for hazardous air quality.
Yeah, we in China, they over
Like,
there,
what
they
does
got.
that even mean?
Shit, they got real bad like air pollution and smog. So when you think about it, what is it like? 60% of things that are manufactured in the world are manufactured in China.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, all the factories and the places that manufacture that shit, they're probably emitting a crazy amount of, you know what I'm saying, CO2 and gases into the atmosphere.
But I thought the mask was to prevent what you're putting out, not what you're.
It's a filter. It's a filter what you're breathing. Like,
that's Korea and Japan.
It's as much as it is for us to not, because people could be asymptomatic. As much as it is for us to not push out, it's also really a filter. That's why like they had the cloth ones, because if you have a cloth one, even though it doesn't really do as well as like an N95, it filters it even just a little bit. And their science is, if it filters it even just a little bit, then you have a greater likelihood of not getting sick.
I'm just going off the meme that I saw. Did y'all see the meme with the peeing on somebody?
You said,
So like,
you said peeing?
Yeah.
Somebody peed on somebody?
No.
I know what meme she's talking about.
You know why? Because you got the mask on. I ain't hear you.
Listen, she's not R. Kelly, okay? Listen, here's what the meme is about.
You gonna explain it?
Yeah, I saw what it is. So basically, it's like, should I wear a mask? And it's like, okay, so if I put my pants down and I pee on you.
Oh, that one.
Like,
that's what I was talking about. Oh, the peeing one.
Yeah,
Okay.
the peeing one. So like basically, like if I don't have pants on and I pee, right, and you don't have pants on, like you're gonna get wet completely, right?
Not really, because
like,
biology.
Okay, if I was a dude, okay, and I had something to point at you.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
But then if I had pants on and you didn't, then the pee's gonna stay on me. You might get a little something on you. I don't know. But basically, like if we both had pants on and we both peed on ourselves, or like
then nobody would get hit.
Exactly. Have you, Ben? Do you ever pee on yourself?
What? Hey man, we're not gonna talk about when I was 5. Leave me alone.
Are you sure it wasn't 5? More like 35?
It was 5. I didn't even turn 5.
Oh, okay.
You sound like you had a drunken night where you might have thought you was on the toilet and
Fox
peed on
News
yourself.
ad.
Nah, I'll say this. I have never peed on myself in my adult life, but I have when I was, teenager. I ain't gonna front.
Fox News ad.
Teenager?
Yeah.
A teenager.
Yo,
Were
I was
you
not.
dreaming?
I was in practice. I was at practice, and I had to go to the bathroom. And they was talking about, yo, we gotta run sprints. I'm like, yo, coach, I gotta pee. He's like, yo, I don't give a fuck. You better hold it or go. And I'm like, coach, I gotta pee. Like, what's up? And I went.
Wow.
I was lying.
And coach was like, oh shit, he wasn't lying.
My last
You know, the fucked up
regulation.
part was he made me run even more. Oh, you dirty bastard, go run some more. I said I had to.
Was it cold or hot outside? Do you remember the day?
I don't remember. I just know I was traumatized that day.
My last recollection of me peeing on myself, I probably was about 7 years old, and I was having a dream that I was falling.
I'm just.
And the rush that was coming out of me, I woke up and my bed was wet.
Hey man, I was 5. Okay, I don't know any kid. I know a lot of kids that was. I don't know. I think that it's not rare for a 5-year-old kid to wet.
No, I don't think so. I think I know my son from. Oh man, I'm not gonna put his business out there.
No.
Oh, man, he gonna be embarrassing the motherfucker.
No,
He gonna sit there when he gonna be like 30, he gonna be like 17 one day,
No.
trying to talk to
He's
a
not
shorty,
doing it
and he
now.
gonna be like, yeah, so me, I'll be doing this and that, and then he's gonna be on the girl. I saw this video, your mom. She said you pee on yourself.
No,
Nah,
he doesn't do
see.
it now, but he was doing it. I mean, he was getting up there.
Hey, bro, I'm
at age
sorry.
one, when I was like, dude, you're not gonna miss nothing. Get up and go to the bathroom, please. And so he finally, it's finally clicked. He's 12 now. He's in the 7th grade, so he's good.
See, oh, this is worse. Now he probably talking to a girl right now. He about to get his whole shit blown up.
I think he's just getting to that point where he cares about,
Hygiene.
yes. He's getting there. He's still not there. I
You know-
still gotta remind
Yo,
him.
you know one thing I love about the one thing I love about black moms is that y'all don't play when it comes about kids being wash your ass. Like y'all not.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
and it's funny because here's one thing I will say. I saw something one day where they said white people, they don't first off, white people don't use wash rags, which or loofah, nothing.
What?
They don't use wash rag. They don't use a loofah.
That
They
can't
don't
be
use a
across-
sea sponge.
That
They
can't
don't.
be across the board.
They just take the shit and all of that. All right. Now, number 2, I
It
also
can't be
had some
across the
there.
board. I'm still having.
All right, you say that, but then when you
All
want to
right.
watch something that smell like bologna and crackers, don't look at me. I told you.
All right, go
All
ahead.
Then the second part is some of them don't wash their legs because they say that the salt water running down their body, run down their legs, is making it clean.
Hey, there's people that don't watch things.
Now, you think I'm lying? You think I'm lying? Ask your white friends later. Hey, real quick, random question: do you use a wash rag or a loofah? Nah, girl, I just use a bar soap. What you mean?
I'm gonna be the one that gets the what's that? A loofah.
Yo, if you sit there and be like, yo, girl, do you wash your legs? Wash my legs. I mean, I rinse them. No, that means you're rinsing dirt, sweetheart. You're not doing the right thing. Somebody ain't teach you when you was younger.
Oh,
That's what it was.
gosh. I'm
messed up.
I'm really trying to.
This might be the reason why 90% of all the women I ever dealt with in my entire life were of minority descent.
Bro, you know what one of the worst things that happened to me? I was working at a job, and it was a manager, right? And she smelled bad. But the thing was, I was afraid to say some shit because I thought I might get fired. So the worst part was she wasn't a manager of my department, right? You see, like this room is kind of enclosed. Her subordinates, right, the people that she would manage over, they all would complain amongst themselves about how bad she smelled.
Damn.
But everybody was afraid to say some shit because they didn't want to get fired. So they just had to sit there and suffer in silence.
I don't know.
That's
to
like
me,
terrorism.
yo, it's definitely a hard conversation to have. I've had to have that conversation as a manager with an employee.
Hard? No, it's not. Hey, look,
Yo.
Fred, wash your ass.
Oh, you can't just be like that. Maybe with certain
That's
people,
because
but
you
It's-
don't give a fuck.
It's not that I don't give a fuck. My nose gives a fuck, okay? His nose gives a fuck.
That's
Her
true.
nose gives a fuck.
That's
This,
no,
this,
but you gotta be sensitive to other people's feelings, though.
like my nose ain't sensitive to their smell.
But some people don't know.
Don't know.
You don't know.
Don't know.
Some people don't know.
Because they're used to their own smell. That's
Yeah, you don't smell
You know,
yourself.
my thing is, it should be. I'll tell you something. I have a homie of mine, right? He only showers like every other day, right? And it's not that he smells bad, but he's like, bro, I noticed that you shower like every day. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, it's not even that
Said it like it was a problem.
What the fuck are you talking about? Now, you know what I also told him? I said, it's not that also I shower because I want to be clean.
This topic that we're doing right now is proving why our COVID cases are high.
Okay?
It's proving.
Okay? You see this? You see
this? Proves it.
Look at my elbow. You see? Is it ashy? No.
This proves it.
Hold on. Wait, we're not even gonna have the lotion conversation because
They're allergic to lotion.
no, y'all will fry me right now because I'm not one that religiously puts on lotion.
Will you use oil?
No.
Shea butter?
I know. I don't know. Listen, just hear me out, okay? My dad said it's the Polynesian side of me. Shut up. And it's the reason why I can get away without.
Okay, that's fine, but
That's true.
So
we
I
wouldn't be
know.
able to.
Naturally smooth.
I don't.
But we wouldn't be able to tell. But here's the thing: like, if I was to shake your hand, you wouldn't cut me. Like, that's all I'm asking.
No,
for.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's some people
Then
out
that's
here.
that.
They be like, "How you doing? What the motherfucker? If you get that knife away from me, I'm gonna sock you."
Or if you shake somebody's hand and it's like snowflakes that pops up in the air.
Like fucking LeBron James
gosh.
before a game.
I had a
Shit.
teacher in junior high school. I'll never forget him. He was my Spanish teacher, Mr. Nolan. He must have had some kind of. He had,
Eczema?
when I was a kid, I didn't know. I just.
Yeah, he was a kid.
He was just different at the time.
Right.
But now, like as I think as an adult, I'm like he had to have some kind of skin disorder or something, maybe psoriasis. I don't know, because he literally had flakes throughout his whole body.
Wow.
And his scalp, his arms, like every single. And he was a heavier set guy too. So
Wow.
you can imagine, the stench. That kind of.
Okay, it's been.
You
It
know.
was snowing every day. It was snowing inside every day.
But for the life of me, now as an adult, I sit here and think like, why was he like that? Did he bathe every day? Did he not bathe every day? Was there something going on with it? But it was.
Well, also it's like, it's funny because
Ugh.
I said it's a habit. Like my thing is that we need to create habits that we know are going to be healthy in general.
yeah, like
We do.
everybody in America
And
needs to wash their ass at least once or twice.
I
a
say,
day.
yo,
That gotta be everybody's habit. If it's not your habit, something's wrong with you. If it's not your habit, you're the reason why COVID is spreading, and you need to check yourself. Okay,
Well, I also
it's
say
a
that
problem.
like, yo, one of the greatest forms of self-love is hygiene.
Yes.
Yo, I tell you right now, I got excited as fuck when I bought some new lavender body wash, dog. Like, let me explain to you.
Dr. Squash soap is dope.
I know the reason why it got me excited is because like I look forward to that because that's no cleansing yourself is a form of self-love, and I say that because it's like I almost question. I'm like, yo, certain people who don't bathe, whoever raised you doesn't love you. Because if they really loved you, they would teach you how to bathe. But I say this, it's okay. Your parents didn't love you, so I love you. And I would love for you to wash your ass. So, here's my good friend soap, my other good friend wash rag. Now, when you use a wash rag, you need to have a couple of them because people want to use the same wash rag multiple times. Yeah, you can't use the same wash rag for your body, for your face. You can't. Yo, there's people who don't know that. No. I'm gonna make this point. No, with the camera. Yo, you can't use the same rag for your body, for your face. Alright? You have to have 3 different rags, okay? One just for your face, okay? One just for your body, and then one for your body, alright? Because you can't exchange those 2 things because you're exchanging the dirt and germs in those places.
But what if you wash your body first and then wash your bones?
I mean, look, whatever you do is whatever you do.
I'm just saying, like,
but
I
I'm
can
just
see if
saying.
you was going like this and then bringing this up here.
No, here's why.
But if
This is
you
why I
wash
tell
your
people.
body first
I
and
say
then
this.
you leave the other area for last.
If you wonder why people downtown don't want to talk to you, it's because you don't have enough rags, okay? If nobody's son want to take you out on a date, it's because you only use 1 rag. If you want more dates, use more rags.
So can you tell me why the rags are always going missing in my house?
More dates, you need more
I don't know.
rags. That's
Oh, you know what? I'll probably tell you why. Your son, how old is your son?
He's 12.
Hey.
I go through rags. I'm telling you, and I buy the big packs, like the big packs that got like 20 of them in there. I'm gonna tell you
exactly why. He's 12 years old. He's going through puberty. He's exploring his body. Okay. Yo. And what happens is when he finishes exploring his body, he has to clean himself up, and that's why they
disappear like.
Because he's masturbating. That's why. No, it's okay. He's your young boy growing up into a young man. That's why. But that's probably something for.
I'm gonna go get some water.
Well, anyway,
no, legit.
I'm just making bullshit fun. I can't say that's a fact. I'm just throwing out nonsense.
I thought that's what it was, but I was just.
Hey, I would be danged if that's the truth. But I'm just saying. I just know that when I have a child. And I started noticing wash rags are disappearing. I'm like, my son's becoming a man.
Yeah, wash rags and socks. Why y'all laughing though? Cause y'all guilty. That's ridiculous.
Yo, I'm just saying, man. Hey, I ain't gonna front. So you see how?
My homegirl told me. Hold on, let me tell y'all. So my homegirl got a kid. When we talked about wash rags, wash rags and socks going missing.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Hold on, time out.
You know why?
No, time out. The socks, I ain't gonna front. Some kids do that. I don't know how. Some of them will use a sock. I don't know how. Because you have to use that's for your feet.
I gotta tell y'all what my homegirl told me, though. She told me she was missing rolls of toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that happens.
Rolls of toilet paper?
Look, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. And this is something that I gotta say from a place where I'm not trying to be comical. And I can't say this because...
Wow.
And the only reason why I say this is because when I was in high school, I took so you know how you have Planned Parenthoods in different communities, right?
Right.
I was a Planned Parenthood ambassador. Okay. And so I would go to different middle schools and we would talk about birds and bees with young boys and young girls, right? Now we would also talk about ways that young boys and young girls would try different things. And what we did is we're like, yo, it seems uncomfortable. But if this is what you're going to do it safely. And I'm going to be 100 with you. There were boys who would use socks to get off and do that because they wanted to be clean. Like, hey.
Because they want to be what?
Clean.
Clean?
Yeah, because they was, in the sock and then, throw in the wash.
I guess so.
Some of them would also use toilet rolls. Okay? There would be some young girls who would use foreign objects that are not meant to be put in certain places.
Hold on.
And we're trying to explain to them and educate them that that's not safe. That's not healthy. Sis, you need to be aware of your pH balance. That's not. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm saying it in a kind of comical way, but this is a real conversation that as a high school person I was having with middle school kids. And middle school kids sometimes would partake in things like that.
Yeah.
Where they would have toilet rolls and do stuff with it, or girls would do certain things. And I say that because once again, these are kids. They're feeling
Mike Penson right now with this guy with the fly.
No, I'm telling you, this fly. You know what it is? Because I have on this lavender shea butter that I use. It's lavender and hibiscus, so I smell really nice right now. I'm going somewhere after this, so. Anyway.
I think before this thing.
See, they mess with the camera person. Look at this. See, that bull. But anyway, I'm just saying, that could be the case, but it could not be the case.
That's crazy. I'm a whole grown ass woman, and I've never, and I don't own any toys.
Oh, more power to you. You save money. You save money.
I don't understand
Yo,
it.
one time I had a girl ask to use a toy while we was doing it, and I'm like, what? Am I not enough?
What? I don't pass. Why you looking like that? I don't pass no judgment on nobody.
Well, you know what?
I don't. And to me, I just don't feel the need for it. Like.
Wait, time out. You're happily married.
I am.
So there's a reason why you don't
have to. He's doing his thing. That's why.
He's doing his
thing. But it don't. I'm not getting it every day.
But at the end of the day,
whatever y'all do. Hey, look, man.
Doesn't matter. Like
we get older, sometimes we just need. Not today, baby. I just need to.
But to be honest with you, more power to you because that means you don't need it. So.
Hell yeah, man.
I don't know. I just don't understand it.
There's gonna be a lot of women in the comments. It's gonna be like, oh.
And I don't know if I ever get to that point though, because I hear like as you get older and then like you go through menopause and all that, everything just kind of like fizzles and dies off.
Well, they say that men peak sexually earlier than women. So they say actually as women age, their sex drive increases, whereas guys decreases. So with that, but that's also genetic because there's all kind of factors.
Yeah.
Really, ladies, if you don't want that issue, get yourself a Caribbean man.
But But I get that. But doesn't it eventually get to a point where like you just don't?
Here's my thing. I can't relate because I'm not at that point in life. But I'm a horn dog. Like if I like my lady, I'm gonna be on top of her 24/7. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Because he ain't never lived with one. That's why.
I'm a Scorpio. What does the first letter of Scorpio? S. What is the first letter of sex? S. It's just part of life.
Because she want anybody to tell me eat ass.
It's just part of life. It's part of life.
You know what I always say? I say this.
It's like you breathe, you have sex, you sleep.
I say this. I say this.
Life.
You know, when I
gotta
meet
throw food in there somewhere.
When I meet people, I say people have to partake in one of 3 vices for me to really associate with them. If they don't partake in one of these 3, I don't trust them, right? The first one is some form of cannabis, right?
I don't smoke.
I get it. No, I get it. It's not for
so
everybody.
I'm off the list.
If you're not
you don't have to smoke. You
that's
can
fine.
eat edibles,
Right, but I just say that because that's to me, those are people who don't take life too serious. They know how to relax. That's the first one.
Okay, so that's one.
The second one is alcohol, okay? We need some type of alcohol in our lifestyles to keep shit, because sometimes we got a fucking woman. Hey, fuck him, fuck her, fuck them. Alcohol helps you say fuck it.
I'm a social drinker.
I'm more of a smoker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The third one is sex. Anybody who tries, here's my thing. I'm not saying everybody has to put out their business on who they hook up with or what they do, right? My thing is that I believe if 2 people are married, I'm not saying these people need to have regular conversations about their sexual lives. But there needs to be some honesty about enjoying sex with your partner. And not even enjoying sex, but just being intimate. Because I'm just like this: if you don't smoke, you don't drink, and you don't fuck, we cannot be cool.
No, I'm gonna take it further. If you don't smoke, you don't drink, and you don't fuck, are you human?
You're fucking Mormon. Like, oh, actually, no. Actually, I know a Mormon person. Hey, actually,
no. They got mad kids. What you talking about?
That's like marriage and shit.
Is there something mentally wrong with you? You might need
Come on,
therapy.
look, your life is too fucking hard to not do one of those 3. If you can have all 3 at once, whoo, shit, that's a good time.
I don't know.
So if you can have all 3 at once, it's a great day.
Shit, I'm sitting here like
and those days come few and far between for most average people like myself. But I mean, you gotta do one of the 3.
But you know how I feel about the whole toy thing. That's kind of how I feel about smoking.
You don't like smoking?
No, I don't. I don't smoke.
My wife doesn't like smoking.
I tried it when I was younger, and I don't know.
Sure.
But I also,
right?
I mean, the thing is, I grew up around it, right? So my parents smoked. I got hotboxed in the car frequently with my dad. My dad had no censor with us when it came to marijuana. My mother, on the other hand, she tried to act like we didn't know anything, but you damn stinking up the whole damn house. Everybody knows what's going on in your bedroom.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
But my mom tried to conceal it from us.
So since you don't like smoking, I'll ask you a question. Are you, what is your opinion of edibles?
I never tried one.
Well, look.
But I would,
actually,
I'm not saying I would be opposed to it.
What I'm gonna do for Christmas is I'm gonna give you a pack of edibles for you and the hubby. I want you both.
Not gonna do it. He don't smoke.
Hey, that's fine.
No, see, I'm gonna story.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. That's not what happened.
I'm telling you, because here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. Yeah, look. First of all, y'all gonna have another child in 9 months.
No, my tubes are tied. Thank you.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's even better. Shit. Even better. Shit. Free fall with no, you know what I'm saying? Free fall with no draws. I got you.
Here's my thing. My wife, she is the same way as you. She grew up with her parents smoking. She don't like smoking and everything. There was many times I was like, come on, babe, just smoke with me one time. No. Roll up for me one time. No. And then one day, just out of the ordinary, I brought in edibles from the dispensary, and then she tried one, and then her life changed. Now, my edibles will be gone before I know it.
Bro.
So, what I'm trying to say is, today in 2020, there are multiple ways of consuming the THC. You do not have
you
to
get
smoke.
yourself
I don't
nice.
smoke
They
that
got
much.
the cream too.
Well, here's the thing. The cream actually isn't really designated to get you.
No. The reason why I mention it is because I broke my ankle a few years ago, and I've had over a dozen surgeries. I still have, I don't even know, a number of torn tendons in my ankle, and I am in pain on a daily. Like, even sitting here right now, like, I'm uncomfortable, right?
You need that CBD lotion.
And so, I was at Scottsdale Fashion, and I tried the cream. You know, it's temporary, but I did feel like a difference for that period of time. So I'm not saying that I'm opposed to THC or anything like that.
Multiple ways.
I might try it one day.
Well, I'll say this.
When the pain's not, you know.
Well, here's the thing. The thing with edibles is that you can dose properly.
Okay.
People look at edibles as like you got a brownie and you eat whatever amount of it and you get messed up. Nah. There's a science to it.
Okay.
I'm going to use my phone. Let's say this is a brownie. This is 100 milligrams of THC. Tetrahydrocannabinoid acid, that's a long word, but THC.
What happened to the CBD?
CBD is a cannabinoid. It's a different component that's tied to
This shows that he worked in a dispensary because I had no idea what the
So-
Yeah,
THC
because I'm like,
stands
wait a
for.
minute, I thought it was CBD. Now.
So
Okay.
think of it like Fruity Pebble. Think of it like Trick cereal,
Okay.
right? It's cereal, but you got different shapes and different colors, right?
Okay.
Each color or shape represents a different component of cannabis. Think of a bowl of cereal as a blunt, but if you were to separate the cereal piece by piece by piece, those are the different components of the blunt. That's how I explain it to people. So it's like, yo, you want to get high? Okay, yeah, so you want to get high. Great, but how do you want to get high? What do you want to feel? Then I go down this rabbit hole of other questions. I say that because this is the brownie, 100 milligrams, right? I cut this in 4 pieces. Now it's 25 milligrams per piece, approximately, right? Now you have 25 milligrams per piece. What you do is you do what's called a dose. A dose is 5 milligrams of THC. That is considered a dose. 5 is like the entry level to see how it affects your body. You may not even feel anything cerebral from it.
Okay.
It just might give you like a little like a tingle or a sensation, right? But you take one piece like in that first hour, right? Then the next hour, let's say you notice that you don't have much of a tingle, then you can take another 5 milligrams. So now you're at 10 in a 2-hour window. Now you notice the feeling and it's like, okay, I'm a little bit more tingly, but now I'm a little more loose. It took you 2 hours to feel that. Now you realize, wait a second, 10 milligrams got me here in 2 hours. So if I took 10 milligrams in 1 hour, I would get there sooner. You see what I'm saying? So you can throttle accordingly to what works for you. Like for me, 20 milligrams gets me like lit, like fun, party, whatever. 15 milligrams gets me like productive where I can still work, but I'm alert. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
10 is like doesn't really do much for me, but I say that because you have to do it in doses.
I might need to start at 2.5.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that's actually called a microdose.
Oh, okay.
2.5 is a microdose. The reason why we have dosing is because if someone has cancer, they need the medicinal benefit of THC for pain, but they don't want to get the head high.
Right.
So maybe they just, and here's the other part too. Yo, you got cancer patients that are in so much pain that they got to take 50 milligrams. They got to take 100 milligrams because of the amount of pain that they're in. You know what the crazy part is? That may not even be enough to induce them psychologically because that's just for the physical. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
crazy.
I say that to where in all relationships, it's a matter of, yo, if you take a 5 milligram and you just throw one of them pieces back, right? So low risk, high reward. You take the 5, you feel whatever you feel. The thing too is that if you ever take THC and you feel like you're too high, you take CBD to bring you back down. CBD is short for cannabinol. Basically, it's another part of cannabis that has more of the medicinal shit.
Wait, the CBD is brought to bring your high down?
Yeah.
I would never
Holy
known
shit! I didn't know that.
Dude, so like...
So then why do people just take it without taking...
For muscle, so the actual medicinal part that people get from cannabis is not from THC. THC is just the psychoactive. That's just to trigger all the fun shit up here.
Okay.
CBD is the part that actually deals with pain, inflammation, swelling, feeling better, mood, things like that. That's CBD. You can actually consume CBD by itself without THC. If you took a CBD edible right now, I could give you 20 milligrams of a CBD edible. You will not be psychoactively high. You will not feel anything up here. You actually will feel more relaxed because it's going to help you with whatever pain or whatever stuff.
That's why people take it for like anxiety and stuff.
Anxiety. That's what's actually CBD is specifically for anxiety. Actually, it's highly recommended that if someone suffers from a mental illness, that they don't take sativas, which are head high type of cannabis, or for the most part any real large amount of THC because it can aggravate it. People who deal with anxiety or mental illnesses, they can take certain types of cannabis. It just has to have a low percentage.
Yeah, I got a cousin that gives edibles to her dog, like when she's gonna be gone for
there's
stuff
like that.
of the day.
Because here's the reason why cannabis is so big deal. Our bodies, we have all kind of systems, right? We have the respiratory system, you have the circulatory system. There's this thing in our body called the endocannabinoid system. That's basically just a fancy word for the system that controls the connections in our bodies for certain things. So like your adrenaline rush, right? You get excited to an adrenaline rush. Think of it like a conductor.
Okay.
You're right. You need something in the middle for it to actually go through.
Right.
It's a brick there, right? To conduct it well. Let's say if you're talking about, it's hard for some people to be happy because there's a chemical imbalance in their brains that says, hey, the connection from here to here isn't strong enough, hence why it's hard to be happy, right? That's what antidepressants do. It just makes the connection better. The endocannabinoid system, they have these things in there called cannabinoids. Basically, those are like Legos that connect to make sure you can feel those things. Weed contain those things. It's not an accident that weed actually has endocannabinoids in them. The reason why people go so crazy for weed is because it's able to establish better connections for certain things in our bodies, if you put it in layman's terms. So when people get high and they're relaxed, it's because your body is hurting, but the body has the means to heal itself. It's just that it takes a while. Why does it take a week for a cut to heal? Because the communication of, okay, keep sending antibodies, keep doing this, keep doing that. It's a connection that's constantly ongoing. Now, I'm not saying you're going to smoke weed and your cut's going to heal, but just imagine that same analogy, but from an emotional standpoint. Oh, I'm having a bad day. I'm trying to feel better, but I'm having a hard time to get and feel better. Well, cannabis basically creates a bridge and says, okay, you're going to feel better, but we're just going to allow that connection to happen more naturally. So that's why cannabis is such a big deal, because it helps people feel things that, and a lot of times it's hard for them to feel, but more importantly, deal with symptoms that are difficult to deal with outside of using some hardcore drugs or some shit.
Exactly.
All right, so I need a pack of gummies with CBD and a pack with THC.
So, they got a intimacy.
We just got another person.
I didn't commit. Okay, I just said.
They got THC intimacy.
Yeah, that's
oil.
how it starts. You try one.
They got THC intimacy oil. You got the stuff where it's called the Stony Yoni.
Stony Yoni.
Stony Yoni. It's a
drink.
It's a THC spray that you spray in your private parts.
Wait, hold on. I missed that. Oh wait, what is it for? What do you do?
It's for sex. It's an intimacy oil. It enhances intimacy.
But so my dick gets high? I don't get it.
It increases the sensation down there. Remember what I'm saying?
Oh, it increases the
THC
sensation.
is what? A Lego that builds better connections in the body. So hence why
the sex will be more lit.
Yeah. But here's a crazy benefit. It's not its main benefit is really for enhancing the sensation down there. But for women, if they use it for their vagina, it actually helps balance pH. Actually, if you were to take it and spray it on a tampon and then use your tampon, helps with bloating, helps with cramps. It balances your pH. Yeah.
Stop taking American medicine and go on natural medicine.
Shit, I'll tell you that right now. Shit, they got. I mean, it's just that it's one of those plants that have many applications to it. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing about it is, imagine if you could grow a plant right now, and you can use it and make it into a lotion that's good for your skin. Of course, the government would be mad about that shit because they ain't making money on it.
Right, because they're doing it yourself.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad that more people are educating themselves for natural medicine and everything.
Yeah, imagine you grow the plant right now in your house. You have 6 plants. You have a headache. Instead of going out to the doctor and spending money on insurance and getting ibuprofen or Tylenol. You go out and you consume some cannabis. You don't have to smoke it. You can eat it. You can, you know, make it
I'm
into
all
a
about
tea.
natural medicine, but what concerns me is that this is gonna get too commercialized, and somebody's gonna get their hands in it and try to like create something that's like
So that
not,
I do
you
have
know,
That happened in New York with synthetic marijuana.
really.
So K2,
The K2.
yeah, the K2, that shit really fucks people up.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And the reason
like, just
why
leave it be.
it's
like,
be sold is because it's not regulated by the FDA, but it's considered like spices.
mm-hmm.
So it's like gas stations and people would carry it, but it's a whole controlled substance. A controlled substance is something that once it is touched by human hands, like methamphetamine
Wait,
and
is
shit.
that spice stuff, or
Yeah.
that's something different? Oh, this
So,
is.
like,
oh, that's spice.
It's
Okay.
not. It's essentially the same family. So like, let's say
Yeah.
like methamphetamine. You know what's crazy? Vicodin, certain opioids and things
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
are in the same category as like meth and all this shit. Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
Adderall is a cousin of meth, but
Wow.
the dosage at which people can take it,
Right,
it's
right.
legal and it doesn't, you know, cause too much of an issue.
That's why I'm. Mm-mm.
This is.
But-
I'm not big on.
like natural herbs and medicines and remedies. Just to,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I got a
educate
whole
everybody.
story for y'all
Like,
when it
Yeah.
comes to that, cause I'm not
But
big
like
on.
the thing
on
is, for you to
medicine.
get your hands on like, you know, meth or Adderall, it's hard.
Mhm.
Right? The only place you can go to is some type of doctor or whatever. That's
Right.
why they get paid off of that shit, because you gotta get a prescription, you gotta go through insurance.
Mhm.
Cannabis? Dude, cannabis is so easy to get. Yo, if you got a gram from somebody, you can use that gram and potentially use that to make 4 or 5 plants that can have all kind of other benefits to you. Now, guess what? You do that 3 times a month. Now you're not going to the doctor as much.
See,
And I see that happening though. I feel like I see that's gonna be a way in the future. They're probably gonna require some kind of like licensing or something so they can make money off of it, right? Because it's just like, look how many people have gone to harvesting their own vegetables, you know,
Right,
and using their backyard or their patio garden or whatever it is. I know people growing vegetables inside their home, you
In
know,
their
just
apartments.
because, that's what I'm saying, right inside their house or their apartment, just because
that's something I'm actually
it's
interested in
convenient.
doing.
They know
Yeah.
what's in it. They know they're not getting all this junky stuff, and they're not paying high price dollar for you
Yeah.
know all that organic stuff
Also,
at the store.
I tell this to people all the time because this is what pisses me off about like the cannabis industry in Arizona. When you go to a medical marijuana dispensary in the state of Arizona, when you make a purchase of any kind of product, the dispensary agent is supposed to offer you what's called education material. What that is that the Arizona Department of Health says with every purchase or transaction that a patient makes, the person who's dispensing it, hence the dispensary agent, has to offer information on the pros and cons of what they're buying.
But they do that at the pharmacy though. But they ask you if you want.
Keyword,
Yeah,
ask.
they ask. And
Right?
then-
Like you go to a pharmacy, they say,
Yeah,
hey, are you
you're
familiar
right.
with you want
Know what they
information?
offer.
Yeah. Out here, they don't do that shit consistently. I promise you, everything that I'm telling you that I'm learned so far, like I'm a nerd and I work in the industry, hence why I'm familiar about it.
Right.
But for what I know, it's not like I'm some fucking guru and I'm an expert in this shit.
But
I've just done my due diligence. So I say that when you go to a dispensary, they're supposed to say, would you like education material? Then you get information on everything I just said. Endocannabinoid system, THC, CBD, all these other things. And then when you walk away from it, here's what happens. You go back to the dispensary, you say, hey, I didn't like that I got a really bad high. I want to get the medicine, but I don't want to be as high. Okay, cool. Now let's look at this. They're supposed to be consultative.
Yeah, I get that, but here's my thing. At what point do you take accountability, right, to ask those questions and get educated yourself? Hey, can you give me information on this? If, you know,
They're supposed to do it by
salesperson
state
doesn't-
law.
I get that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like
How about-
if I'm taking something that I've never taken before,
You're gonna do the research.
I'm gonna ask first.
Yeah.
First I'm gonna do the research, right, to see if I even want to
Fuck
and
it.
participate,
A lot of
right?
people wanna be
But, like,
force-fed.
but then at the same time, it's like I wanna know what you have to say about it as well. So I don't know. I mean,
A lot of
but
people
then
wanna be
it's like
force-fed.
they're telling you the pros and the cons. I feel like you have to take accountability yourself and do your own research. Because, I mean, even though this said person, right, could sit in front of you and tell you pros and cons, like, there may be some bias in what they're saying, too, based off of experience or whatever, and what they're saying, whatever honestly, their cons are may not be your cons.
I always tell people, it's assumed when you go to a dispensary that there's a certain level of discretion, but I'm like, yo, I'm 6'3", you know, 2
right, so something for you.
So
and I'm 4'11", 130 pounds. So
I smoke. I eat like a dinosaur and drink like a whale. Volume. Some other people, I tell people, I'm like, hey, look, this is me. This is how I got from it. X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes people can take it whatever way they want. But yeah, there needs to be a certain level of discretion about what you take, why you take it, and who you're getting it from. Right. I always tell people this. I'm like, if somebody gives you information and they can be objective about it and remove themselves from it, that's who you should fuck with. Somebody go, oh yeah, I had it yesterday, it fucked me up. No, that's you. You fucking drink Sprite and Mountain Dew all day. You don't even have a glass of water. Of course that shit gonna fuck you up because you're not a human.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shit, I'm telling you, I'm about to mash up some jerk chicken later.
Hey!
Is that where you going after this?
Yeah, I'm going to go some jerk chicken. Might go see somebody's daughter. I don't know.
All I'm going to say is this, man. I'm happy Biden won. I'm happy Trump is the fuck up out of here. But, yo.
Not yet.
Okay.
I want to know. Wait, I want to know when he's going to come forward publicly, because he hasn't said anything. I heard they took his phone away from him. That's why he can't go on Twitter.
How did took the president's phone away so he can't be on Twitter? Yo,
I think it's in his best interest that they did that. Speaking of which, I heard also that once he's out of office, because I always wondered how he got away with saying so much, but I guess if you're, head of state, you have censorship waivers or something like that. Like, you can post whatever the hell you want to. Like, so that gets taken from him. Thank God.
So in other words, as soon as he's out of office, he might get, tried?
I don't know.
Oh, no, he got charges coming. He got charges coming. Why do you think everybody was... No. Why he got charged? Why do you think all these people were leaving his cabinet? Because they knew some shit was going down, and they know people
don't
come
want to
after
be
him.
associated with
You know why they left? Because of immunity. Because they're going to, A, testify against his dumb ass, and B, they got to distance themselves as soon as they can, because it's like one of those things with, if you are affiliated with a crime, but you are able to, and then you testify later on, but then also put some kind of effort that you tried to go to the authorities.
Conspiracy, perjury, like all kinds of charges.
It's like saying yo, did you know that there was something in the car? I didn't know, but the fact of you cooperating and all this shit can sometimes mitigate your circumstances. Why think fuck? Well, look at Tekashi 6ix9ine punk ass.
Right, aiding and abetting.
There's
like a whole list of.
I really want to beat his ass, man.
Tekashi 6ix9ine punk ass. Why do you think he over here getting time off and about back on the streets? Because
I don't even know why.
He over here, you know what I'm saying? Doing whatever the fuck he gotta do. But anyway, though.
Bottom line, man, is even though we are celebrating that Biden and Harris are in office, we will be watching because we want to make sure you hold every word up to your par.
Absolutely. Sean King tweeted that earlier. He was like, it was yesterday, I can't remember, but he twisted about making sure we hold. Tweeted about making sure that we, as a community, hold them accountable.
And that's the thing, not just them, but the local officials that we vote.
Right, that we voted for
our
as well.
votes count. The next step is holding them accountable. So when's the next town hall is at? Be there. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that they do their job. That's what we gotta do.
Kate Galapagos Turtle, you better not be on that bull.
I give Biden and Harris.
Well, she might be.
I want to see.
Right?
So, I want to see forward progress by this time next year. I'm gonna give them 1 year.
Oh man, they're gonna be under
something.
Yeah. Well, you know what the thing is too is that it's been common.
I think they're gonna beat that. I think they're gonna. Do
it's been a
they better.
It's been a common thought that people voted for Biden and Kamala, but are still very cautious about their previous track record, but also celebrating.
But I feel like you have a right to feel that way too, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's celebrate this weekend, and then come Monday, we gonna let them know, hey man.
It's not come Monday, it's come January.
I'm gonna do it Monday.
Well,
What? They gotta get in the office first and go.
No, I'm gonna sit there and be like, hey.
Inauguration and all
it
that.
was till January until Biden opened his mouth and said, on Monday I'm gonna start appointing people in my cabinet and I'm gonna start doing.
He's probably trying to get the players ready. So.
He is.
Yeah, so I'm gonna judge him on that. He said the cabinet is gonna reflect what America is today. Okay, we're gonna hold you to your word, bro. Every word that Biden says and Kamala Harris says, I'm holding them to their word.
I know is Jamaica.
He did say he needed a black female vice president, and
he did it.
He did.
Man, it should have been Stacey.
Ah, hey, it's fine.
Come on, dog. She got 800,000 people to register to vote. Come on, man.
True.
Come on, little punk ass.
That might be the next governor of Georgia.
I'll take it.
That might be.
I mean, but what if she wasn't interested?
Yeah,
Maybe if she wasn't. You know what I mean? Because we don't know what happened behind the scenes, right?
I'm pretty sure Biden probably came.
Biden said he was going to decrease student loan debt by $50,000. My student loan.
No, it was 30.
30?
I heard 10.
Well, that's fine. Because you know my student loan debts are like $13,000. That means $30,000.
Wait, I think I did hear 10.
Be wiped out.
I think I did.
That means he's gonna wipe out my student loan debt.
I just want to know if I can get a credit,
bro.
because I paid mine in full. So like,
Take my mask off.
Can I get that back?
Biden, I'm holding to your word, man.
I want to get that back,
word, bro. I'm telling you. I'm serious. Like, we really gotta hold him accountable. He doesn't have 4 years. He has 1 year to show something.
I believe that he's gonna do right by the people.
He better.
I feel like he doesn't have a choice.
He better.
I feel like he doesn't have a choice.
He better. Cause if he don't, we gonna kick his ass out pronto.
Yeah.
Fast. Quick and hurry. We ready.
Pronto Rambofonto. Speaking of that.
What about Fontos?
Fonto leave.
Fonto